everyone. Welcome to this exclusive video interview series as part of our ebook, The Broken Candidate Experience. Here's How to Fix It, brought to you by ETHRWorld Southeast Asia in association with Paradox. I'm Yasmin Taj, editor for ETHRWorld International and head branded content for The Economic Times. As a part of this exclusive ebook, we bring to you in-depth insights from leading talent leaders from across Southeast Asia, where they reveal some interesting narratives and learnings on how to win and retain the right talent by offering an authentic and positive candidate experience, which makes hiring easier, faster, and impactful. The last few tumultuous years have paradoxically changed work, careers, and workforce. People want to feel related and connected to the organization they want to work with. They're looking for meaning and purpose. No longer do employers have the opportunity to cash in the immense talent available. It is the candidate-driven market where employees are the choosers. The war for talent has only intensified, and this year has been no different. Inflation, recession, layoffs, and the cost of hiring have all added to the challenges for CHROs and their recruitment teams. So in today's interview, we will look at why HR leaders need to take urgent action on their current candidate experience to attract the right talent. And to drive this important conversation, I'm excited to welcome Theresa, who's Chief Human Resources Officer at Newport World Resorts. With over 30 years of experience in human resources, Theresa is a passionate and strategic leader who drives organizational excellence and employee engagement. Currently, she oversees the HR function for a global hospitality and gaming company with over 5,000 employees. She's also responsible for developing and implementing HR policies, programs, and initiatives that align with the company's vision, mission, and values, along with the fostering a culture of collaboration, diversity, and innovation among the workforce, while ensuring compliance with labor laws and regulation. Thank you, Theresa, for joining us today. It is such a pleasure to host you.
Thank you very much, Yasmin. I'm actually grateful to be here to share some of the practices that we have been doing when it comes to bringing in the talents and to retain them.
Exactly. And that's what we want to hear. We want to hear from your vast experience. We want to hear from your organizational experience, what it makes to create that perfect candidate experience. So without any further ado, let me just jump into the question. And Theresa, the first question that I have for you, as employers continue to navigate the war for talent, how do you see candidate experience becoming a priority to attract and hire the right talent?
I actually believe that it should be placed there together with how we prioritize customer experience. Candidate experience should also be looked into and prioritized, ensuring that we give out the best impression to the candidates out there. With this talent, of course, it's no longer just the candidates trying to please or putting a good first impression to the employers, but it's also the other way around. Having a bad experience can actually lead into the candidate just pulling out and canceling their application. And that could really mean, disaster for your organization if you don't bring in the right talents into your team. So yeah, I believe that with the myriad of options that these candidates have out there, we should really be looking into strengthening our employer branding and ensuring that the candidate experience would be seamless and a good one for the prospective employees.
Absolutely agree with you. I think, as you said, if you treat your candidates, your employees as customers, you will have the same kind of initiatives, programs, and the same approach and thought process of how do you want to keep them engaged, keep them happy, motivated to stay with you. And that's where the priority, the criticality of having a good candidate experience comes into place. So thank you so much for sharing that, Theresa. Also, talking about candidate experience, there's a lot of talk around the world around how do you measure it. So according to you, Theresa, how do you measure the impact or ROI of a great candidate experience? Are there any specific metrics that you track, any observations that you make to decide the outcome of the investment that you make in this?
Mm-hmm. So first off, during the interviews, during the onboarding, we actually came up with a survey already from the candidates about their experience. We'll listen to them. We take note of their suggestions and how their experience was during the interviews, during the onboarding. And so we can further improve our processes in their candidate experience. And of course, we monitor them on their third month to ensure that they are happy with the onboarding process. They are happy with the teams that they are working with. And there are also areas that we improve on, of course, whenever we hear about their feedback on those. We have mentoring programs in place because again, the cost of hire can be very costly, especially when you feel that you found the right candidate, and then you would have infant attrition. That is something that we monitor always about those who leave the company within their first 6 months. We go through exit interviews, trying to understand what it is that they have gone through and how we can further improve their experience. It has a huge impact on ROI because we are in the customer service industry. And so if the candidates or the newly hired employees feel that they were not treated well during their probation period, during their first 6 months, then it will definitely have an effect on our customer service that we give out to our guests.
Thanks for sharing that, Theresa. I think it's very important to understand how your employees or candidates are feeling in the first few months, because that kind of decides how long will they stay with the organization. They make the first impression based on the experience you give to them. And as you said, it's about taking feedback, seeking that, monitoring what they're doing and how they're feeling about working with you, and then changing and being agile enough to change your processes based on what you hear from them. And that gives you a good ROI, because when people stay with you and when you can combat attrition, that helps you with the investment that you've made. So great thoughts there. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank
Also,
you.
thank you so much. Do you think that delays in the hiring process can contribute to a bad and candidate experience? What are the potential damages that an inefficient recruitment process and a slow hiring process can cause to the talent pipeline and overall business?
Well, aside from the possibility that the candidate will just lose interest in the company altogether, because as we know, there are a myriad of options that they have right now, right at their fingertips. You can just check on your
Exactly.
cell phone, open the internet, look out into JobStreet and whatever recruitment platform are out there. They have those options. So if they feel that during the first few days of their application that nothing is happening, no feedback is being given about their application, then they know that they have other options they can look into. And if they cross out your company as somebody that, okay, they have a poor hiring process, I'd rather move on to the next one. And what happens? Just like any other customers, they are going to talk about this to their friends, college classmates, family, and it can be very costly to your employer branding. Because if they hear about that experience, okay, you had that experience with that particular company, I'm not interested. I'm not gonna apply anymore. And in this situation, there's no
Yeah.
service recovery. We talk about service recovery in customer service. But in this case, once that you had destroyed your name with a particular candidate, they're not going to come back. There's no way for you to lure them back to come back after waiting for what, weeks and months for the status of their application. Then they're just going to move on.
Interesting point. I think, firstly, it gives them a bad taste. So they'll remember that. Secondly, it moves on to, bad mouthing your company, impacting your employer brand. Thirdly, it impacts the overall, hiring process for you also, because so many of your positions remain vacant when you're not being able to fill them on time. You're losing out on the investment. You're losing out on important business. So that's how overall a bad hiring and a slow hiring process can impact business. Great thoughts there. If you want your employer brand to remain intact, I think the whole process needs to be really sped up, and most organizations need to look into that, because as you said, candidates have so many options on their fingertips. At least I've heard that one candidate has around 10 options at one time. So if they can choose so quickly, it's better we be quicker in our hiring process. So thanks for sharing that, Theresa.
You're
Moving
welcome.
on, we've seen a lot of impact that technology has been creating on all the HR functions, right? So, how do you see the role of technology in enhancing the speed and efficiency of the entire recruitment process, which overall then adds to the candidate experience?
If you have the right talent that you have seen and you would want to have them on board immediately, again, it is going to help your service and your organization, right? So it is crucial that you at least ensure that it will be seamless for them in submitting all those pre-employment requirements, So coming up with digital forms for them to easily fill in, give out all the data that you would be requesting would be very convenient for them. Normally, the practice before, I've been working for the past 30 years, unfortunately, is that every form I have to submit, fill out, go back to the office and submit all these forms. Now you can do it all digitally and just send it through emails, fill up Google Forms. So whatever available technology you've got out there, you may not have an applicant tracking system yet. You can always come up with something, even with an Excel form, a Google form. We have to make it easy for the candidates to submit those pre-employment forms to make them, make it seamless for them and have them on board as soon as you can. Because again, the earlier that you can bring them in and have them on board, the better it is for everyone, for the candidate's experience, and at the same time for the employer.
Thank you so much for that. I think I totally understand that earlier in the earlier days, it used to take days to fill up those forms and go through the entire process of submitting your documents and all of that. And now technology is being the main catalyst for bringing that change in organizations, where you can quickly fill up forms through the help of technology. You have automation helping you fill up submit those documents, those required requisites of a job. That's how technology is making the hiring process easier and quicker for people to follow. So Theresa, in your organization, yet have you employed technologies like AI and automation to improve the speed of the hiring process and enhance the experience for your potential recruits?
Actually, we are still in the process of finalizing our new HRMS, our new HR management system. So while waiting for that, we again came up with just a Google form wherein the candidates can actually submit all their data and all the forms that they were required to submit, making it easier for them. So they only come in on their first hiring day, on their orientation day, to make it again seamless and easier for them.
Okay, that's a great way to say it. So, Theresa, finally, the concluding question for this interview would be, if you have to give an advice to the recruitment teams or CHROs who are trying to create that overall candidate experience that helps them attract the best of talent, what would that piece of advice be?
Welcome them like you are welcoming a new family member into your family, a new member in your family, because they can make or break your organization. Having a new team member feel welcome, you can then expect that they would also be doing their best to excel and do well in your organization. Again, having a bad experience would end up destroying your employer brand. With the use of social media now, it can really be a nightmare seeing them giving out negative comments in Glassdoor or in Facebook. So again, it's no longer the candidates putting their best foot forward, but also the employers, because there is a war talent out there and you would want to come out to be the best.
Thanks, Theresa. I think that sums it up very beautifully. That if you want to be an employer of choice, if you want to create an employer brand, if you want to attract and hire the best talent, you need to create an experience which is seamless, which is fast, which helps people get through to you through technology, which helps them, get on board with ease, and then create an experience where they feel belonged, where they feel that they are a part of your system, they're a family member to you. That's very, very important. As you said, your employees are your customers as well. So you take care of them, they'll take care of your business, right?
Exactly.
So on that note, Theresa, thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for this interview. It was a pleasure hearing these insights from you. I'm really happy to know how Newport World Resorts is working towards creating that kind of a candidate experience where you're dealing with such large number of employees. It means you take care of each one of them and you're ensuring that you create an experience that makes it matter to them. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. It was a pleasure to host you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to meeting you soon.
Same here, same here. The next time I'll definitely meet you. Thank you. And for everybody watching this episode, hope you can gather some great insights from this conversation with Theresa and take them back and apply them to your organizations. See you in the next episode. Until then, take care and bye-bye.